Welcome to another review of budget EDC knives. And today, what we have here in front of us is another Tangram by Kaiser. And this model specifically is the Orion. And once again, I want to thank Kaiser for sending me this wonderful piece sample for me to review. I will post their Amazon store in my link description. And that is also where you can find the best price on the internet. And now, let's get some spec out of the way first before I talk about it. It is an overall 7.5 inches long with a blade length of 3¼ inches. Here's some size comparison for you. This is your standard Swiss Army knife. And this is your Tangram Vector. So just a little bit bigger than the Vector. I actually prefer this size more because for my personal experience, I like my perfect EDC is right in the range of 3¼ to 3½ inches long. So let me show you another favorite of mine. It is my all-time favorite EDC. It is a first generation Spyderco paramilitary. And you can see it has a very similar blade length. And this is what I like. And now let's talk about the knife, bit by bit. So, what we have here is a reverse tanto blade shape, almost like a wharncliff. Not quite a wharncliff because it has a belly, but it is a hybrid between a reverse tanto and a wharncliff. It features a 440 Akuto steel. 440 Akuto steel is essentially an upgraded version of the 440C steel. It lies right in between the 440C and the 440V in terms of edge holding capability and sharpness. It also has the 440C rust resistant properties, so this knife would do very great in terms of that area. It will also hold a way better edge than the 440C steel. And now, while I had this knife, while I got this knife yesterday, I was test cutting it on cardboard. And wow, this knife really slices. And that is because of the well-designed blade, the blade geometry, the blade shape, and also how thin this blade is. The thickness of the blade is 1/8 inches. So for those of you who is wondering in millimeter, that will be 3 millimeters. So it is quite a thin blade compared to a lot of EDC knives out there. And having that thin blade along with a very high flat grind, and what then the result is a very, very fine tip. Look at that tip. It is almost as thin as a needle. When I was cutting the cardboard, this knife, it just slices through the cardboard like butter. No resistance at all. The Vector right here, it slices well, but not as well as this. And that's because The Vector has a slightly thicker blade near the tip. Whereas the Orion, like a needle. Seriously. And now let's look at the handle. The handle features a textured and sculptured G10. It comes in a tan color and also black color. The texturing and the 3D grooves really provide an excellent traction. Although I feel that the groove sometimes could give me a little bit of hot spot and could get a little bit uncomfortable, especially when I'm flipping the knife. Right here, my thumb, and also my fingers right here have a little bit of hot spot. So if I were to make a suggestion for Kaiser, is I would probably make the groove more shallow, or I would just completely get rid of that and just use a regular textured G10. However, I know that you guys are trying to make this knife look special, and I understand that. And now another downside to the scale is, do you guys see the problem? When I go to put this knife in my pocket, if you have a flat piece of G10, it would just slide through like that. Whereas this one is almost like a saw teeth, so it will go like into your pocket. And that, it takes some time to get used to, but sometimes my second nature is to draw a knife right out, and these 3D grooves would tend to catch onto the pocket, and it makes it really hard to get in and out. And now, the pocket clip. This is a well-designed pocket clip in terms of placement, and that's because it is actually maximizing the space up here. If you watch my other review on the Vector, my complaint about the Vector is that the screws are not side to side at the top, so there's a lot of wasted space compared to the Orion. Only this much just sticking out of the pocket. And great job on that, Kaiser. I also like the design of the pocket clip. The holes right here are very it's a good attention to detail. It doesn't make the knife look cheap. However, same complaint. The tip right here, it bends out way too far. So this would actually catch on stuff really, really easily. And I already have a few gouges on my car door just because of these type of pocket clip. They stick out way too much. So I will probably have to take it out and bend it out myself just so it sits closer to the handle. And now, this knife features a liner lock that is skeletonized. And I love skeletonized liners, and that's because it saves a lot of weight. If this knife is to have no milling in the liners, it will probably weigh a bit more. And that doesn't really fit well with the whole slim profile. And that's another thing I want to mention. This knife is thin in the pocket. Very thin. The liner lock is very well executed. It provides a perfect detent to the flipper. When it's locked in position, it's solid. No play at all. It also has a ball bearing washers in here that makes this knife super smooth. I can almost drop it close like that. Pardon me, I don't have enough space here, so I can really drop the knife as much as I want to. But believe me, this knife is almost like gliding on ice. And there you have it. Well done, Kaiser. You guys really hit a home run with these Tangram series. And you guys have produced 2 excellent designs. That is probably some of my all-time favorite EDC knives. So keep it up. And thanks for watching. I will post a link of the Kaiser's Amazon store right in the description, so you guys can go check it out. I already made sure that it is the best price on the internet, so you guys can buy with confidence and get your product straight from Kaiser. And there you have it. Thanks for watching the review. If you like my review, please like and subscribe. And stay tuned for many more reviews. See you guys. Bye.